Howdy ho there, YouTube. Today we're going to be doing deck tech for a modern deck that I was able to use the other night, and I just picked up a couple of the cards in the deck, but they seem to be working really well together. It's actually like a Nicol Bolas mind grind deck, because by the time you get Bolas out, it's game. There's not really too much to do once he's out, other than win. Because by the time you get him out, you have enough mana to mind grind them for their entire deck. So let's start off with our land base. We got 3 islands, 3 swamps, 3 mountains. I've got 1 Bloodfell Cave and 1 Achrome Refuge. Just come and tap, you gain a life. Nothing too crazy. 1 Watery Grave and 1 Dismal Blackwater. I got 4 Temple of Epitomes because you're going to need that blue more often than you think. So a bunch of Scry there. 1 Shivan Reef just for the extra mana. 4 Temples of Malice. So Scry lands again. And then 1 Blood Crypt for the final shock land. I mean, I've never really run into a point where I needed a specific color that I don't have out, because by turn 5 you have all the mana that you need, especially the way the deck is balanced. So we're going to start off on our 1-drops. 1 Elixir of Immortality in case you end up milling yourself a little bit much. 1 Realm Right. So a 1-drop that changes all your mana to whatever color you need it to be. I only have 1. You only need 1. You don't really need it even. The deck would run fine without him, but it makes it a little bit easier to get stuff out faster early game. 2 Spike Jesters. So just a couple hasters. We're running a full set of Generator Servants, just because he's probably my favorite red card, like my favorite common red card. Because you can really just bring out big stuff super quick. Like, I've had Bolas out on turn 4, which ends the game. 3 Demure Charms for any board wipes that they might have. Because it's sorcery, it's instant speed to just destroy a sorcery. So that does its work. 1 Dreadbore. So in case they bring out a Planeswalker or anything you need to wrap up, take care of, there it is. 2 Mind Grinds. The deck really only needs 2 because we have a couple other cards that will do this similar work. So I've milled out more than 40 cards in a single match. So like once you get to turn 5 or 6 and you have like a couple of Generator Servants out, you can win with the Mind Grind. 1 Ashiok. She does real well for the deck to just exile stuff and then you can play it off of them. 1 Lifebane Zombie. I just added him into the deck because he was sitting on the table and I was like, whatever, why not? 3 of the obvious choice, Night Veil Spectre, or sorry, playset of Night Veil Spectres, so all 4 of him. 1 Rakdos Lord of Riots. I mean, I picked him up 2 days ago, and I've been using him in the deck, and so far so good. So I mean, he makes it easier to bring some bigger stuff out if you really need to, but he's just really a 6/6 flying with trample for the deck. Desecration Demon to play off of that Rakdos. Essence Backlash for the late game removal. You only need 1 of these because once it starts getting late enough game, you have enough things in this deck to kill a lot that you don't have to worry about too much. 1 Chandra Pyromaster. I mean, just for her 0. 1 Koth of the Hammer. He works really well with Realm Right. You turn everything to mountains and then you have infinite mana loop. 1 Jace, the Living Guild Pack. Not a lot of people like him, but his +1 is pretty much scry for 2. I mean, you have to put one into the graveyard, but if it's late and you don't need mana, then it's really good to have him. 1 Lazav, Dimir Mastermind, because you're going to be milling your opponent's deck to such a crazy rate that you can just turn him into anything you need. 1 Soul Ransom, just to play off of that whole Nicol Bolas deal, like, I'm taking over your stuff. 1 Reap Intellect, to blow out their hand late game, in case they're saving anything. 2 Psychic Intrusions. I know a lot of people didn't like this card, but so far, I've taken Planeswalkers from people. 3 Haunter of the Night Veils. So give all their creatures -1, -0. It's just an annoyance once you have them all out. 1 Thought Flare to get your draw on, because everyone needs draw power. Hypersonic Dragon is kind of a funny card to have in this deck, just because you get to start casting like random things like Mind Grind on their turn. 1 Karanis, just once again for the draw power. If you're going to be drawing lands, then you don't need them late game, and if he's out, then you get to shock them if you're not drawing land. If you are, you get to mill yourself. 1 Mirko Vosk. I've actually ramped into Mirko Vosk on turn 3, and I milled out 50 cards from my opponent in 2 turns. 1 Phaenax. Phaenax is really good once again for the milling. Once you have him and Lazav Dimir Mastermind out, then you're just stealing cards from them. Stormbreath Dragon, obvious choice for the deck. Another flyer. Niv Mizzet, the Draco Genius. So you can draw power again. Draw power is always good. Cruel Ultimatum, because it's a Nicol Bolas deck and you can't run a Nicol Bolas deck without Cruel Ultimatum. And Breaking and Entering. So this card is just a real mess. I mean, I've had it for a long time. I've just never really read it. And I was looking at it and I was like, oh, well, that would be beautiful. And then the 2 Bolases. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The deck, I've played it against a couple modern decks. It does really well. It does what it needs to do. It mills them properly, and it defends itself enough to where they can't really get through. The only problem I've really had is a green-white deck with pro creature hexproofs. So that was kind of a bummer, but I was able to mill them out. Not for the win, though. He had 6 cards left in his library by turn 7, and he was just able to swing in for the win. But, let me know down low in the comments what I should do, what I should add, what I should take out. I'm probably going to end up taking out Jace and Chandra, but the deck really is just for lore perspective. Nicol Bolas, Jace, Chandra, Ashiok, all them. It's a really fun deck to play. I would suggest playing it with your friends if you guys can put it together. But let me know down in the comments below if you liked it. If you didn't, thumbs up, thumbs down, whichever you would want to do. I was Jeremiah St. Louis, and keep it classy.